So magnetic moment is due to the association of spin magnetic moment as well as orbital magnetic moment, μs plus μl. The total magnetic moment is μs plus μl. What is μs value? The μs value is 4s into s plus 1 Eh by 4 pi mc. E means charge of the electron, h Planck constant, m is mass of electron, and c means velocity of light, plus root over L into L plus 1 Eh by 4 pi mc. Eh by 4 pi mc. Okay. Now this Eh by 4 pi mc is common. Then this is the root over 4s into s plus 1 into plus L into L plus 1 into Eh by 4 pi mc. But Eh by 4 pi mc is equal to Bohr magnetons, is equal to 1 Bohr magneton. Then this nu is equal to root over 4s into s plus 1 plus L into L plus 1 Bohr magnetons. L into L plus 1 Bohr magnetons. Okay, clear? Now, see what is L? L means orbital magnetic moment. S means spin magnetic moment. Means 4s into s plus 1, which is the spin magnetic moment. Okay, now we know that for transition elements, orbital magnetic moment nu L is neglected because it is very less. It is very small. That's why nu L value is 0. Nu L is neglected or nu L value is 0. Therefore, what happens now? The total magnetic moment is equal to root over 4s into s plus 1 Bohr magnetons. 4s into s plus 1 Bohr magneton. This is the formula. Now, what is S? S refers here. S means total spin. The capital S is equal to total spin of unpaired electrons. Okay. For example, one electron spin is equal to plus or minus 1 by 2. Always one single electron is there, means that spin may be positive or negative, plus half or minus half. Let total number of unpaired electrons, means for example, if n unpaired electrons are present, its total spin, and unpaired electrons present, then total spin is equal to plus or minus n by 2. Plus or minus n by 2. Always we have to consider a positive value only, because the unpaired electrons means modulus we need to use. Modulus of plus or minus means ultimately the value will come plus only. So in that capital S place you have to substitute n by 2. Therefore, nu is equal to root over 4s. S place what will comes ma? n by 2. 4s into s plus 1 n by 2 plus 1 Bohr magnetons. N by 2 plus 1 Bohr magnetons. Now it is nothing but root over 4s means, see this 2 1 to 2 means 2n into this n by 2 plus 1 just LCM is 2 n plus 2 whole by 2. Again this 2 will cancel. Then nu magnetic moment nu is equal to root over n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons. This formula is very important. In subjective exams they ask what is the formula for calculation of magnetic moment is equal to root over n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons, where n is equals to number of unpaired electrons, where n is equals to number of unpaired electrons. N is equal to number of unpaired electrons. If n equal to 1 means one unpaired electron is present, then just you have to substitute n value 1. If 2 unpaired electrons are present means you have to substitute q. If 3 unpaired electrons are present means substitute 3. 4 unpaired electrons are present in d orbitals, you have to substitute 4. 5 unpaired electrons present in d orbitals, you have to substitute 5. Maximum number of unpaired electrons present in d orbitals, how many ma? 5 unpaired electrons only present. Parallel spin electrons maximum how many present? 5 only, because the total number of electrons present in d subcell is equal to 10. How many d orbitals are present? 5 d orbitals are present. Each d orbital is filled with one electron. Then maximum number of unpaired electrons present in d orbitals, how many will get? 5 only. 5 only. That's why maximum n value for d orbitals is 5. Maximum unpaired electrons in d orbitals is equal to 5. So for transition elements or transition element compounds or ions, their magnetic moment nu is equal to root over n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons. Root over n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton. This formula we need to remember. It is very important. That how we are calculated that nu is equal to n into n plus 2, that's not important, just for knowing purpose only. But this formula and related to calculations of magnetic moments is very important. Compulsory 2 marks question guarantee, either board examination guarantee as well as in objective NEET, JEE and CET examinations also. Magnetic moment calculations are very important. Compulsory questions are coming in previous examinations. Just you check once. Okay ma? So this is the formula for calculations of magnetic moment. Is equal to root over n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons. Let's see for transition metal ions magnetic moment, how to calculate magnetic moment. For example, it is same electronic configuration. Configuration of ion, electronic configuration of ion. You have to take any electronic configuration of ion and number of unpaired electrons. Means n, number of unpaired electrons, and magnetic moment. Magnetic moment value nu. For example, the electronic configuration either D1 or either D0. D0 means that inner cells are completely paired. There is no unpaired electrons present in the orbitals. D0 or D10. D0 or D10 is present, the number of unpaired electrons 0, then nu is equal to 0. Now D1 or D9 electronic configuration is present for any ion. Either D1 or D9, they contains only one unpaired electron. They contains one unpaired electron. Then magnetic moment nu is equals to root over n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons. In that n place you have to substitute 1. Then root over 1 into 1 plus 2 means root 3. What is the root 3 value? 1.73. What is the root 3 value, ma'am? 1.73 Bohr magnetons. Next, either D2 or D8 electronic configuration is present for any transition metal ions or transition metals in its compounds. Then the number of unpaired electrons are 2. Then nu value is equal to root over 2 into 2 plus 2. Root over 2 into 2 plus 2 means how much, ma'am? Is equal to root 8. 4 into 2, 8. Root 8 value is less than 3. Means 2.87 Bohr magnetons. For example, D3, D7. Either D3 or D7 electronic configuration is present. They contains maximum number of unpaired electrons. How many, ma'am? 3 only. Then root over 3 into 3 plus 2 means root 15. The root 15 value is less than 4 is equal to 3.83 Bohr magnetons. 3.8 approximately. D4 or D6 electronic configuration is present. The number of unpaired electrons are 4. Then you substitute 4 into 4 plus 2 is equal to root 24. Root 24 value is less than 5 because 25 root 25 means is equal to 5. Less than 5 means 4.92 Bohr magnetons will come. So approximately we consider as 4.9. Now next D5. D5 electronic configuration is present. Then it reaches maximum number of unpaired electrons. How many, ma? 5. If you substitute n is equal to 5, then 5 into 5 plus 2 is equal to root 35. Root 35 value is less than 6 is approximately equal to 5.9 Bohr magneton. So, however, whatever the ions electronic configuration do you want to calculate means either n value is 0 or n value is 1. N value 0 means 0 Bohr magnetons. If n value is 1K means 1.73. 2K means 2.83 or 2.83. Sorry, 2.83 Bohr magnetons. If n equal to 3 means 3.87. 3.87 Bohr magnetons will come. N equal to 4 means 4.92. 5 means 5.9 Bohr magnetons. Like, because n equal to 1 means root 3, n equal to 2 means root 8, n equal to 3 means root 15, n equal to 4 means root 24, n equal to 5 means root 35. So that is constant, always these values. Okay, so this calculation we need to remember. Whatever the ions they are giving, immediately we need to calculate that magnetic moment value. For calculation of magnetic moment value, we need to write their electronic configuration, correct electronic configuration. Then we have to calculate proper n value. Then only we will get exact magnetic moment value. See, for this, one shortcut tabular form or simple some examples I will give you in tabular form only. For example, ion. You have to take any ion, then electronic configuration of that ion and number of unpaired electrons, n value and nu value, magnetic moment value. Any ion you have to take, for example, scandium, we know that. transition elements in 3D series, scandium plus 3. Scandium plus 3 means actually scandium is 3D1 4s2. 3D1 4s2. It lost 3 electrons, means from 4s2 electrons and 3D1 electron means its electronic configuration is 3D0. N equal to 0 means mu is equal to 0. Now, scandium over. Next, vanadium. Vanadium 3 plus. Vanadium 3 plus means what is the electronic configuration of vanadium? Let's see. Vanadium. Vanadium Z equal to 22. General electronic configuration is 3D2 4s2. 3D2 4s2. But how many electrons losing? Vanadium 3 plus means 3 electrons from here 1 2 and here 1 means 3D1. Vanadium 3 plus. So how many ampere electrons are coming? 1 ampere electron is coming. 1 ampere M equal to 1 ampere electron means what is its new value? 1.73 new in Bohr magnetons. 1.73 Bohr magnetons or 1.732. No problem. Vanadium, sorry, scandium, titanium, vanadium 23 man. Vanadium 23, 3D3 now is coming D2. Instead of vanadium, titanium 3 plus you take. Sorry ma, titanium 3 plus. Titanium 3 plus. Titanium Z equal to 22. 3D2 4s2. Now titanium 3 plus 3D1. N equal to 1.73. Now vanadium 3 plus. Vanadium 3 plus electronic configuration is 3D2. 2 ampere electrons are present. The 2 ampere electrons are present means that new value is 2.83 Bohr magnetons. Chromium. Chromium Z equals to 24 3D 5 4s1 3D5 4s1 then chromium 3 plus. Chromium in its complex existing in plus 3 oxidation state, then the ionic form is chromium 3 plus. So you have to remove 1 and 2, total 3D3 will comes. 3D3 means N is equal to 3 means how many ampere electrons? 3 ampere electrons are present, then its new value is 3.87. Okay, chromium. Next. Manganese Mn plus 3. Manganese Mn plus 2 means D5. Mn plus 3 means 3D4. Means 4 ampere electrons. 4 ampere electrons means 4.92 Bohr magnetons. Next. Iron 3 plus. Iron 3 plus means D5 electronic configuration. D5 means what ma? 5 ampere electrons, it's 5.92 or 5.9 Bohr magnetons. Iron plus 3, Fe plus 3, 3D5 electronic configuration is present. Cobalt. Cobalt 3 plus. Cobalt Z equal to 27. 3D7 4s2 is the outer shell electronic configuration. That cobalt 3 plus means here 3D6 will come. 3D6, D6 means D4 or D6 both having 4 ampere electrons only. Means N equal to 4. 4 means again 4.92 Bohr magnetons. Okay, same way nickel Ni plus 2 or nickel 3 plus. Otherwise, you have to take mostly nickel is existing in plus 2 oxidation state, or very rare cases nickel existing in plus 3. Means 3d7. 3d7 means 3 ampere electrons, then 3.87. Okay, next. Ni2 plus 3d8. 8. d8 means 2 ampere electrons. 2 ampere electrons present. Its magnetic moment is 2.83 Bohr magnetons. Copper. Copper 2 plus. Copper 2 plus means 3d9. 1 ampere electron. Then it's 1.73 Bohr magnetons. For example, Zn plus 2 or copper plus. Copper in plus 1 oxidation state, or either Zn, zinc is present in plus 2 oxidation state. Its electronic configuration is 3d10. Number of unpaired electrons 0. The magnetic moment is also 0. See, d0 and d10, their magnetic moments are 0. d1 and d9, their magnetic moments are 1.73. d2, d8, 2.83. d3, d7, d7, 3.87 Bohr magnetons. d4, d6, n is equal to 4, 4.92 Bohr magnetons. d5 electronic configuration is present, n is equal to 5, then Bohr magnetic moment is equal to 5.9 Bohr magnetons. So this is the important formula for calculating calculating magnetic moment. Calculating a magnetic moment. Magnetic moment nu is equal to root over n into n plus 2. That magnetic moment value depends on number of unpaired electrons. Number of unpaired electrons increases, magnetic moment value increases. For transition elements, magnetic moment only depends on spin magnetic moment, but not orbital magnetic moment. That's why orbital magnetic moment nu L is 0. Then the spin magnetic moment or spin only magnetic moment for transition elements or transition element compounds is equal to root over n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons. Okay, then some examples. Okay, let's see. For example, iron plus 2. Find its magnetic moment, like the questions are asking in a board examination. Iron plus 2 electronic configuration is 3d6. 3d6 means n is equal to 4. How we are getting 4? Because 3d subcell contains 5 d orbitals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That 5 d orbitals we need to fill with 6 electrons. First, the 6 electrons, how they fill? Because they have the filling of electrons in subcells. We have some rules. What are the rules in subcells? Based on that, according to Hund's maximum multiplicity rule, each orbital is filled with at least 1 electron. After that, only pairing takes place. Total 5 d orbitals are present. Then 6, we have 6. Each one is filled with 1 electron. Now the sixth electron again filled with first orbital. Now how many single electrons present or unpaired electrons present? 4. That's why n equal to 4 for d6. d7 n equal to 3. d8 n equal to 2. d9 n equal to 1. d10 0. Okay. Now n equal to 4 means what is the magnetic moment? Root over 4 into 4 plus 2. 4 magnetons. Root 24 Bohr magnetons. Root 24 value 4.9 Bohr magnetons approximately. Like Fe plus 2, Fe plus 3 Already I did here Fe plus 3 means D5. N equal to 5, then 5.9. See Mn plus 7. Mn plus 7. Manganese highest oxidation state is plus 7. Example KMnO4. In KMnO4 manganese exhibits plus 7 oxidation state. Okay. In plus 7 means 3D0. In d orbitals, there is no unpaired electrons. There is no electrons. Means n equal to 0. N equal to 0 means its mu value is 0. Its mu value is 0. Chromium K2Cr2O7 potassium dichromate. In chromium oxidation state is plus 6. And this is also 3D0. Then mu is equal to 0. Mu is equal to 0. So like. So whatever the ions they are giving, we ready to calculate their magnetic moment values. If their magnetic moment is 0, then it belongs to diamagnetic. If magnetic moment mu not equal to 0, those belongs to paramagnetic substances. Those belongs to paramagnetic substances. That is very, very important. Okay, clear? Okay, next. Next, let's see my catalytic properties. Next, properties of transition elements. The next one is catalytic properties. Catalytic properties. So transition elements mainly acts as a catalyst. We know very well. Already we have discussed so many catalytic reactions. We have discussed so many catalytic reactions. Catalytic reactions are again homogeneous and heterogeneous catalytic reactions. Already we have discussed. Out of that, mostly transition elements acts as a good catalyst. Why transition elements acts as a good catalyst? What are the important reasons for transition elements acts as a catalyst? The main important reasons means the first one is the transition elements having variable oxidation states. The first reason is variable oxidation states. We know very well this property, variable oxidation states. The second one is having partially filled, d orbitals present. Partially filled d orbitals are present. And one more reason is they having large surface area. Large surface area. So if surface area is increases, having large surface area can bind or can absorb reactants easily. Reactants can absorb reactants easily. Then if they absorb reactants means the reactants converted into intermediate states, that intermediate state is converted into products easily. Already catalytic reactions mechanism, how the catalysts involved in the chemical reaction, what is the function mechanism of catalytic reactions, already we have discussed in surface chemistry. So in that case, transition elements mostly acts as a catalyst. So why they act as a catalyst? What is the reasons? What are the important reasons for the transition elements acts as a catalyst? Means the first one is they having variable oxidation state. The second one is having partially filled or incompletely filled d orbitals are present, and the transition metals having large surface area. If they having large surface area, they can bind or they can absorb reactant molecules easily. So these are the important reasons now. See for examples. What are the important examples or catalytic properties of transition elements? Because we know very well so many examples we know. Out of that, the first one is titanium tetrachloride, TaCl4 plus triethyl aluminium. Triethyl aluminium is known as Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Known as a Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Okay, what is the importance of this Ziegler-Natta catalyst? Is used for the preparation of high density polythene. High density polythene, already in polymer chemistry there we discussed. Low density polythene requires no catalyst. High density polythene requires catalyst. The catalyst is titanium tetrachloride plus triethyl aluminium or trialkyl aluminium is commonly known as Ziegler-Natta catalyst. Is used for the polymerization of ethene into high density polythene. Okay. The second one is in Haber process or synthesis of ammonia. That method is known as Haber's process. That method is known as a Haber process, in which iron is used as the catalyst and molybdenum we are using as a promoter. Promoter means what it works? The promoter activates the catalyst. Means molybdenum activates the iron. That iron acts as a catalyst for synthesis of ammonia. That method is known as Haber process. And contact process. Contact process used for the synthesis of nitric acid HNO3, in which platinum used as a catalyst. Platinum catalyst we are using. Contact process. Next, contact process is used for the synthesis of sulfuric acid H2SO4. The catalyst is vanadium pentoxide V2O5 used as a catalyst. Next, fourth one is Ostwald process. Ostwald process is used for the synthesis of HNO3, nitric acid, in which platinum is used as a catalyst. Next one is platinum oxide P2O2 is known as Adams catalyst. Is known as Adams catalyst. What is Adams catalyst? Platinum oxide PTO2. What is the importance of this? It is used for hydrogenation of double bond into single bond. Double bond into single bond. Okay, Adams catalyst. Next one more important catalyst is triphenyl phosphine. See, rhodium tris triphenyl phosphine chloride. What is this name? Chlorido. This is the complex compound. Chlorido tris. Three we are calling as tris triphenyl phosphine rhodium 1 chloride. Rhodium 1. Otherwise, tris triphenyl phosphine rhodium 1 chloride or chlorido tris triphenyl phosphine rhodium 1. Rhodium 1 because its oxidation state is 1. He is known as Wilkinson catalyst. He is known as Wilkinson catalyst. He is very important one. Before last year in JEE mains they are asked